Global Television News Prime, NBA sacks Speedol executives over suits against Musawa Inspector General. The federal government fights inflation as CBN mops up 5 trillion naira. On the foreign scene, Ukraine wants Russia's frozen assets, and in sports, 358 athletes to represent Nigeria in 25 sports. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Uyi Agwafwebe. Let's begin tonight by telling you Vice President Kashif Shettima has promised to Nigerians that the federal government will deploy new strategies to fight armed banditry, kidnapping, and other security challenges in different parts of the country. The Vice President stated this after he held a closed-door meeting with former President Muhammadu Buhari. Speaking after he emerged from the closed-door meeting with the former president, VP Shettima said the federal government would deploy all the resources and expertise needed to restore security and lasting peace to the affected areas. The Vice President, who was accompanied by Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, and that of Agriculture and Feed Security, Abubakar Kyari, as well as former Imo State Governor Senator Rochas Okorocha, also paid homage to the Emir of Daura, Umar Farouk Umar, at his palace in Daura. The federal government, through the Ministry of Works, has announced a plan to commence the repair of damaged expansion joints of the long bridge along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. According to a statement signed by the Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, Olukorede Keisha, the repair would commence from 7 a.m. today to March 4, 2025. In 2024, Keisha said commuters leaving and entering Lagos through the long bridge will be narrowed to 2 lanes on both sides of the bridge to enable the contractor handling the repair works commence works on the other 2 lanes of the carriageways. Let's turn to other stories now. The national leadership of the party on Saturday constituted the Edo Post-Primary Election Reconciliation Committee to reconcile the aggrieved aspirants and ensure they all work for the party's victory in the September 21 governorship election in the state. According to a statement issued by the People's Democratic Party National Publicity Secretary Debo Olugunagba in Abuja, the committee will be chaired by the Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad. Olugunagba said the committee was constituted by the National Working Committee (NWC) in pursuant to the provisions of the PDP Constitution and guidelines after its successful conduct of Edo State's governorship primary election of the party. A former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, has challenged the jurisdiction of the Abuja Federal High Court to hear the alleged fraud case preferred against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The commission had on January 24 arraigned the former governor on 9 charges bordering on alleged money laundering to the tune of 4 billion naira. In the charges, the EFCC had alleged that Obiano diverted Anambra State's security votes to the tune of 4 billion naira while he was in the saddle as governor between 2014 and 2022. The commission also accused him of indirectly transferring through his private principal secretary 1.2 billion naira from the state security vote accounts to another account belonging to Moments of Peace Ventures, an entity with no business with the state. Obiano, however, pleaded not guilty to all the counts. At the resumed hearing of the case, counsel for the EFCC, Silvanos Tahiro, told the court he was ready for the commencement of hearing in the matter and had 3 witnesses to present in court. The Nigerian Bar Association, NBA's National Executive Council, has ordered the immediate removal of the Executive Committee of the Section on Public Interests and Development Law. The NEC accused the Speedol chairman, John Aikpopo Martins, of engaging in activities that undermined the authority of the NBA President, Yakubu Mekiao, SAN, and the council. Noteworthy among the case, the NEC says, is a lawsuit seeking to stop the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, from implementing the Central Motor Information System for vehicle owners nationwide. Additionally, Speedol, in another suit, asked the court to remove the Minister of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, from office, citing alleged violations of the National Youth Service Corps Act. following the strategic forum on achieving safer schools in Nigeria and the introduction of the Standard Operating Procedure Manual for the Safe School project on August 9, 2023. Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetoku has unveiled a state-of-the-art security equipment as well as commenced a training program for state coordinators of the Schools Protection Squad, SPS, and selected divisional police officers nationwide. The police IG stated the launch is in a bid to reinforce the program for viability in achieving the National Action Plan for Schools Protection. Let's now join Kikelomo Okere for more.
As part of the mandate of the Nigerian Police Force to ensure the security of lives and properties in the country, the Inspector General of Police says the official unveiling and launch of the training program marks a significant step forward by the force in the commitment to safeguard the education system, children and young ones by fostering a secure and conducive learning environment across the country. The IGP emphasized his training program aimed to equip state coordinators and divisional police officers from all 36 states and the FCT with a comprehensive knowledge on the police role in the national plan for the school safe in Nigeria by facilitating the development of a strategic roadmap for the force collaboration with the various stakeholders to secure the children's learning environment while optimizing human and material resources of the force to tackle crimes, particularly those targeting education institutions.
This squad will operate in support of the Schools Protection Squad to ensure our educational facilities remain free from danger and unwelcome incidents. Recognizing that our success hinges on our ability to prevent and effectively respond to critical incidents, the police will continue to work harmoniously with all relevant security agencies and stakeholders, especially our host communities, to confront the challenge of school attacks head-on. It is essential that we strive to preserve the confidence and trust of the communities we serve.
The National Coordinator Financing Safe School, Alima Ilia, noted that the capacity of security personnel, school hosts communities, critical stakeholders, students and staff of schools will be built to help them all fit into the national plan itself and play their respective roles.
Also, the capacities of schools host communities and critical stakeholders, including local vigilantes, hunters groups, retired security personnel, traditional and religious leaders would also be integrated into the security architecture, precisely in the area of intelligence gathering, aimed at providing support in securing schools and peoples. Very importantly, the capacities of students and staff of schools would be built to help them fit into the plan itself and play their own role. Additionally, efforts will be made to create public awareness and attract public support for this noble cause.
The Inspector General of Police applauded the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning for spearheading the Financing Safe School National Plan and all who have contributed to reaching the current milestone in the program, noting that their invaluable efforts are vital to the country's progress, while tasking officers nominated for the capacity building training to leverage on the training to boost the effect of the School Protection Squad in their respective commands. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
Agency, NDLEA, have intercepted a 40-year-old businessman, AGK Chibuke Solomon, with 1.45 kilograms of cocaine concealed in his luggage while attempting to board an Ethiopia Airlines flight number 950 to Vietnam via Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, from the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Following his arrests, the agency's officers subjected him to thorough search and, in the process, discovered the illicit substance was factory fitted in his bag. Queen Agaba has the rest of the report.
In his statement, the suspect claimed he was on a business trip to Vietnam. Meanwhile, operatives of a special unit of the agency swooped on members of a syndicate that deals in methamphetamine, cocaine, and heroin in their hideouts in parts of Lagos. The operatives assigned for the operation raided the home of Esimone Amachuku Christopher at 14 Arochuku Street, Ejigbo, where 10.12 kilograms of methamphetamine was found in possession of his associate, 40-year-old Evelyn Neka Okem. Esimone is currently at large while the Ejigbo operation was going on. Another set of officers were simultaneously busy in the residence of another member of the syndicate, 45-year-old Ebele Edwin Iwegbunam, located at plot 1604 Close D, 4th Avenue, Festac Town, Lagos, where they arrested him and recovered 429.5 grams of cocaine and 7 kilograms of heroin. In Kogi State, NDLEA officers on a stop-and-search operation along Wokene Lokoja-Abuja Expressway intercepted a commercial bus marked GRM 347XA, Burn, conveying 28 compressed blocks of cannabis sativa weighing 11 kg, 100 bottles of codeine-based cough syrup, and 500 tablets of diazepam, all concealed in 3 plastic drums covered with cattle fat, heading to Jos Plateau State. While operatives in Ogun State also recovered 169 kg consignment of cannabis abandoned in a truck at Shagamu Tollgate, their counterparts in Lagos seized 25 cartons of tramadol containing 325,000 pills in Ikeja. A suspect, Abdullahi Garba Khalil, 42, and 2,745,000 capsules of pregabalin recovered from him at Singa Market, Sabongari area of Kano, were handed over to the Kano State Command of NDLEA by the Department of State Security, DSS. Another raid was carried out at the abandoned Eyimba Hotel, Ogbo Hill, Aba, where illicit substances were seized and suspects arrested with the same zeal. The various commands of the agency across the country continued with the war against drug abuse advocacy campaign in the past week. Chairman, Chief Executive Officer of NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Marwa, retired, applauds the special units and their counterparts in all the commands across the country for intensifying their WADA advocacy lectures, as well as outstanding feats in the past weeks. Queen Agaba reporting for Global Television.
You're watching News Prime, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on our social media platforms using @Global TVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Prime returns, the federal government eyes 2.5 million barrels daily oil production. This and other stories coming right after this break. Just stay with us. This is Global Television, bringing you live broadcast of the News Prime. Thank you for staying with us, everyone. I'm Uyag Mofwibi. Let's take you to the foreign scene now, where Ukraine has urged the West on Monday to transfer control of confiscated Russian assets to Kiev so they could be used to rebuild the country and fund its recovery. Calls have been mounting in Washington and Europe to set up a fund for Ukraine. They are urged to use billions of dollars in Russia bank accounts, investments, and other assets frozen by the West over Moscow's 2022 invasion. Ukraine has warned it desperately needs more military and financial assistance. This is just as a fresh $60 billion package of U.S. aid remains stalled in Congress. Shimgul urged Western countries to act quickly ahead of elections and political changes that could disrupt the efforts. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says last week there was a strong court's moral case for seizing the assets and giving them to Ukraine. Let's talk some business now. The National Association of Telecom Subscribers, NATCOMS, has asked the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, to extend the deadline for blocking unlinked subscribers to March 31, 2024. The Commission has directed all telecommunication operators to bar phone lines of unlinked subscribers from February 2024. The directive, effective February 28, 2024, is expected to affect over 42 million inactive phone numbers and 3 million active lines. Deolu Ogunbanjo, president of NATCOMS, said the initiative of the NCC to capture Nigerians is a step in the right direction due to security reasons. He, however, said the policy is a great way for the country to develop its database. He also pleaded with the Commission to ensure they extend the deadline till March 31, 2024, in order that every subscriber would be captured. Efforts by the federal government to curb the rising inflation will lead to 5 trillion naira cash mop-up from the banking industry as the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, implements the hike in banks' cash reserve ratio, CRR, to 45%. The cash reserve ratio, which represents banks' cash reserves for purposes of meeting cash obligations on demand, was moved from 32.5% to 45% in apparent bid to curtail inflation. This is one of the outcomes of a virtual meeting tagged Foreign Portfolio Investors Call, organized in collaboration with NGX Group, which was addressed by the CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso, Deputy Governor Economic Policy Mohammed Abdullahi, and moderated by the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of NGX Group, Temi Popula. While speaking at the meeting with the FPIs in response to inquiries about the impacts of the hike on banking system liquidity, CBN Deputy Governor Abdullahi said that the banking system has a shortfall of 5 trillion naira to meet the 45% CRR. Let's turn to Edo State now, where the Governor, Godwin Obaseki, has faulted the Central Bank of Nigeria for raising the monetary policy rate, MPR, by 22.75%. Governor Obaseki contended that the decision is not the answer to the ongoing economic challenges in the country. He supported boosting local production to meet the demand for goods and services. The governor gave this opinion in a speech as a guest speaker during the annual dinner of Edo Zone Bankers Committee in Benin City, Edo State capital, as shared in a video posted on his official X accounts. Now time to join Kikalamo Okere for more updates on business.
Hello and welcome to Business Report on Prime News. The Central Bank of Nigeria says it has concluded its sales of government security, issuing 1.053 trillion naira in short-term instruments as part of its liquidity management exercise. The CBN offered 500 billion naira at the open market operation auction and oversubscribed, selling 1.053 trillion naira with 79% of the total bid, or the equivalent of $530 million, coming from foreign investors. The Friday auction was the first since CBN Monetary Policy Committee meeting, which was followed by a virtual meeting with foreign portfolio investors. CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso used both meetings to set a detailed strategy to curb inflation, stabilize the exchange rate, and spur confidence in the banking system and economy. Cardoso further highlighted in the meeting with investors an outlook for sustained increase in the CBN's foreign currency reserves, improved liquidity in the foreign exchange market, and imminent settlement of the remaining backlog of genuine foreign exchange transactions by the Central Bank of Nigeria. According to him, the CBN is committed to supporting price stability by taking the necessary measures to increase liquidity in the foreign exchange market sustainability. Speaking with journalists in Abuja at the weekend, the bank's acting director of corporate communication department, Hakama Sidi Ali, says the development underscores the level of confidence that the bank now enjoys from investors. She also says the management of the CBN is optimistic that its monetary policy measures were tightening is beginning to yield positive results. Data from the Nigerian Exchange reveals that foreign participation in the Nigerian equity market dropped to 8.15% in January 2024, a decline compared to 13.92% and 12.76% recorded in the previous and corresponding month of 2023. Specifically, a total of 651.52 billion naira was recorded as a transaction in Nigerian stock market in January 2024, in contrast to 343.9 billion naira traded in the previous month. Out of 651.52 billion naira, foreign portfolio investment accounted for 53.11 billion naira in review period, while domestic transactions were 598.41 billion naira. Foreign investment in Nigeria have dwindled significantly in recent years following the aftermath of COVID-19 pandemic and have since remained underwhelming largely because of forex instability and dollar liquidity. The inability of foreign investors to easily repatriate their earnings when due has been a limiting factor determining participation of foreign investors in Nigerian markets. As a result of low foreign inflow and high demand for the greenback, the naira has depreciated by 41% and 21% against the US dollar at the official market and parallel market, respectively. A new report by the Economic Commission for Africa reveals Africa's contribution to global trade remains at less than 3%. This figure is primarily attributed to merchandise trade, suggesting that African nations will engage in more trade with countries outside the continent than with each other. The report on assessment of progress on regional integration in Africa shows Africa's regional integration agenda is progressing, though slowly. Although the Programme for Infrastructure Development in Africa has seen mixed results in its efforts to enhance infrastructure, while progress has been made in the area of road and ICT, advancement in the rail, transport and energy infrastructure have been minimal, with financing posing a significant hurdle. ACA Director, Regional Integration and Trade Division, Stephen Karingi, says unconstitutional changes in government across the continent, underemployment and poverty were top challenges facing the continent. The report further noted that although the agreement establishing the African Continent Free Trade Area officially started on January 1st, 2021, the anticipated improvement in trade between African countries have not been materialized. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Thank you, Kike Lomo Okeri. Now let's turn to sports, where the Nigerian Olympics Committee has said that the country would be represented by no fewer than 358 athletes in 25 sports at the 13th African Games. The Public Relations Officer of NOC, Tony Neziaya, stated this in Lagos. He said the Games would be held from March 8 to 23 in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast in Ghana. According to the breakdown, team taekwondo, wrestling, and karate have the highest number of individual sports athletes, each having 14 athletes, while arm twisting or wrestling has 15 athletes. Weightlifting and badminton both have a 12-member team, while boxing has 11 pugilists, judo 10, and Scrabble has 8 members. And that's a wrap here on News Prime, here on Global Television. Thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget, we are on Star Times, channel 276, and you can follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. I'm Uyag Mofwegbe, and we'll see you again.